A little while ago, Logitech announced that they would no longer be supporting their Harmony line of universal remotes. Now, that came as a surprise to me and a lot of other home theater enthusiasts because we love the Harmony remotes. I have a Harmony hub, I have an old-fashioned Harmony hand remote that I used to use, and so far they've performed really, really well. What I like most about the Harmony hub is that it's super universal. I've been able to control things like random electronics that I've gotten, and it seems to work really, really well. It integrates really well with Alexa and other home automation platforms so that my kids can just come downstairs, give Alexa one simple command, and they can play their Xbox, they can watch their movies or watch their videos on YouTube, whatever the case may be. And so when Logitech made the announcement that they weren't going to be supporting Harmony remotes anymore, and they were, I guess, going to stop all development on that and discontinue all their remotes, it was pretty surprising. And when I looked around to see if there was anything that would fill that gap, I didn't really find anything with the same versatility, universality as the Harmony remotes. So I waited a little while and I just decided to stick with the Harmony until anything else came along. Well, something finally came along this week. I got my hands on this Sofabaton X1 smart remote. Now it looks like it's going to perform the same functions as the Harmony hub. I got this from Amazon Vine. If you don't know what Amazon Vine is, you can check out my video up here, but I got the product for free to test and review, so no one's paying for this. This isn't sponsored. I'm just really excited to give this a try, and I wanted to make a video about it because I know a lot of people out there are searching for Logitech Harmony alternatives, and I wanted to see if the Sofabaton could be that alternative. And we've waited a long time since Logitech announced they weren't going to support Harmony anymore. We've all kind of been in this black hole of how are we going to control our devices. So I really wanted to test out this Sofabaton remote, so let's get it unboxed and let's hook it up to my home theater and see how it works. All right, so let's go with the unboxing. I got my knife out, but I don't think I'm going to need that because there's a nice big hole in the plastic right here. So let's get in here. Okay, we got the instructions, and here's the remote. So I'll give you my first impressions about the buttons. Oh, it's already charged. Oh, it's got that weird font. I don't know if you guys know this font, but this is like a font that I see on a lot of random electronics. It's not a particularly nice font. I don't like the looks of that. In terms of the way the remote feels in the hand, it's actually really good. There's a little scroll wheel here, which is nice. And that's good. Let's get this off of here. All right. So the screen looks like it has pretty good resolution. All right, let's have a look at this, how it's powered. So this looks like some IR extenders, which also came with the Harmony hub, which I like if you don't have straight line of sight to some of your IR devices. Those will come in handy. There's only 3 of them. Never mind, I got overexcited there. But I think the Harmony hub only came with 2, so there's an extra one of those. It's got one of these random generic power adapters. Looks like it's plain old USB, probably just any old USB will handle it. And it looks like we've got 2 USB-C to USB-A cables. I imagine one of them would be, yeah, it looks like one of them's to charge the remote, and the other one is probably for the hub. All right, so there it is. It's a glossy black, like that. It's got that piano black finish, and it's got the wall mount screws on the bottom. The rubber pads seem pretty grippy, like they'll stay on the shelf. And then that looks like the indicator light to see if it's online. In the back, looks like we've got maybe like a reset button or something, and then the power supply. And it's got IR1 and IR2 for your devices that are out of line of sight. So, I mean, it's a pretty complete package. It is very similar to the Harmony hub in terms of what you get if you got the version with the remote, which I did. So I guess the next step is going to be to get it plugged in and get it connected to my system. I've got the Sofabaton there plugged in on my my home theater's media shelf, and it's right next to the Harmony hub, so we'll get a good comparison about how the signals are going to bounce off the walls in here. So far I've had nothing but good luck with the Harmony hub. The signals go everywhere I need it to go, gets to my projector in the back, and it gets to all the other components here on the rack. So that'll be a good test to see if I've got it right next to it to compare the two. I think the next step is to download the app for the Sofabaton, so let's do that now. On the box, there's some QR codes that's for the Google Play Store and for the iOS, for the App Store, the Apple App Store. So I'm going to go ahead and do the Apple App Store because I'm an iPhone user. Now the ratings aren't great. The ratings are 2.7 with 13 reviews. So not off to a great start. I want to check out some of the reviews. I'm going to sort by most recent to see. Okay, so the recent reviews are a little bit better than the older ones. So the recent reviews are saying 5 stars, 4 stars. So the first two reviews, the one from earlier this week and one from January, looks like they're giving it 4 and 5 stars. However, when you go back to just around Christmas time, the review stars start to tank. That there's lots of grammatical mistakes. This one says, a year ago, says it's not friendly to Vizio TV or Apple TV or like a cable box. All right, so my home theater setup, I have an Epson projector, I have a Yamaha receiver, I have an Apple TV, and an NVIDIA Shield. So I'm curious to see if what these older reviews say are still true and it can't really control some of those devices. So let's get this thing downloaded. I also always want to check out what data is collected, and it looks here as though there isn't any data that's collected by the app. All right, so firing up the app. It wants us obviously to create an account, so I'll just log in with Apple as I always do. I don't like giving my email address out to random products that I'm testing, so I find that I do that all the time. So I'm going to give it a hide my email. It's going to sign me in. Let's see what happens. So yeah, I want you to choose, there's the U1 and the U2, which I think are the non-Wi-Fi models, so just the regular, and then the X1. So we're going to go ahead and choose the X1 because that's what we have. So let's set up a new hub. Connect the hub to a power outlet. Well, we did that already. Press and hold the button for 3 seconds. All right, press and hold the button on the back for 3 seconds. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3. All right, so it wants Bluetooth to set up. I guess that's fine. So you definitely need a mobile phone to set this up. Okay, so now it wants to set up. So let's go back to the studio and we'll set these up. So we'll add a device here. We're gonna add my projector, and I have an Epson. And it's a home cinema 2100. I want to see if they have, yeah, home cinema 2100. Next. And that's weird. It gave me a speaker icon even though it knows it's a projector. So I will choose projector and hit complete. And it looks like it's gonna download. Ooh, it's a slow download from it says code base is downloading. Keep your phone connected, so it's taking a while. The Harmony one, I remember, is almost instant. Like, you can add anything and it just has it just like that. So this one's a little bit slower on downloading than the Harmony for sure. And so far, I gotta say, I don't love the interface compared to Harmony. Yeah, the UI and the overall design of the app isn't as appealing to me as the Harmony app, and it's really, really slow too. It took a really long time to add my projector. The next thing I want to add is gonna be my SBT. What is an SBT? I guess that's the receiver, so I'll add that and I'll go down to Yamaha. It does have a lot of options, a lot of brands in here. I'll give it that. I don't know if the RX V2300 is mine, but I'm going to see if that works. All right, it's gonna take a while to download, so I'll just get everything downloaded and set up, and I'll explain the process when it's all finished. All right, so it was the same process to connect the Apple TV and the NVIDIA Shield to the remote. Now, a strange thing was that it really wanted to connect the Apple TV via Bluetooth, but in order to do that, I would have had to pair the Sofabaton hub as a device to my Apple TV, and I just didn't want to go through that process, so I just decided to try it on IR instead. Now, I haven't tested it out yet, so I want to see if it works now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the projector and see if it turns on. So let's check it out. Okay, I did hear the projector fire up. Next, I want to turn on the receiver. Let's see if it turns on. Okay, the receiver is on. I think maybe that's because the projector got turned on. It's got that, it's synced. Okay, so next is the Apple TV. So I'm curious to see if anything is going to happen if I press any of the buttons. Now, I see the indicator light on the Apple TV is not on. Now, it could be because it's being blocked through line of sight by that speaker there, but I don't know the answer to that. But I never really use the Harmony hub to control the Apple TV anyway. I usually only ever use the Siri remote, so it's not as big a deal that the Apple TV isn't working. There's probably some additional configuration that I'll have to go through, and I did do that with the Harmony as well, but what I find odd about this more than anything is that it sets up a little laid out remote control box for you, which the Harmony doesn't do, but I'm not sure that I love it. It's not intuitive to lay them out like this. So so far I think the software has a ways to go. So if you can find the correct model names and numbers for your devices, I'm sure the Sofabaton will work just fine. So in the meantime, let's have a look at the remote and see if we need to do anything additional to get the remote that comes with the Sofabaton going. Now I wanted to see if the remote would automatically update anything, but it doesn't. Okay, it says turning off now. So, it's okay. So it looks like it's syncing up now. It doesn't indicate how it's connected, whether it's through 2.5 gigahertz radio or whether it's through Bluetooth or whatever. I'm not sure. So yeah, it's got my Epson as my projector. It's got my Yamaha receiver. It's Apple TV and Shield are both here, but as I mentioned, the hub isn't responding. You know, I really hoped that this would be a color screen. Right now, I'm only seeing one color. I'm only seeing this white. Even the older style Harmony remotes that weren't a hub, like the 650, had a nice color screen. They were nice and bright. It was really easy to see what you were doing. You could go by just by feel. You know, it's almost like you could, but this isn't a touch screen. It had the activity buttons where you just press the button on the side. It's not really doing it for me. And we've only got these three options. We've got activities and devices and set. It looks like you can sync it up pretty easily by pressing the sync button. I'm going to guess 15 meters away from the hub, and it seems to be connecting. So I'm going to imagine that it's a Bluetooth. There's no line of sight. There's no IR. I'm going to guess that it's connected by Bluetooth to the hub. Yeah. So overall, that's the remote. I mean, I'm not impressed with the remote at all. It feels nice. It feels like it's a quality remote, but just the screen is really just not. It's not as advanced as I would hope, and I really don't like the font. I don't like the look of it. Maybe I'm just being a snob. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Could you live with this over the Harmony remote? This bad serif font and a monochrome LCD display? Let me know what you think. All right, so overall, what are my first impressions of the Sofabaton? Well, as I mentioned during the unboxing and the review, the UI for the app is very pedestrian. It's very boring. The LCD screen for the remote is monochrome. It's only got one color, and it's like this white, so it looks like an old style computer monitor. The font that they chose is really not engaging. I don't know, like I think the design needs a massive overhaul. Like the app design, the UI, and the screen on the remote could benefit from a massive overhaul. So far, it's working though. It did turn on the devices that it could turn on. It turned on my projector and it turned on my receiver, which is really what you need from a universal remote. Now, I'm going to work with it a little bit more over the next few days and see if I can get it going on the Apple TV and the NVIDIA Shield without having to pair it through Bluetooth. Hopefully it'll just work from IR. The reason I have a hub is so that the home theater can turn on and off really easily just with voice commands. My kids like that. My wife likes that. It all just works. So I'm going to test out the Sofabaton over the next few days and see if, like the Harmony hub, it just works. So over the next few days, I'm really hoping to figure out whether or not the Sofabaton is an adequate replacement for the Harmony hub.